It's really, a pleasure to hear these suggestions actually. Particularly, I felt today really important because that I was so tensed about my session. I was so relaxed with this whatever we were getting. Okay. Before I start the session, I would like to give a little brief about why I'm standing here. A lot of things that Sudhir has just covered before, the media reviews and stuff like that. At the beginning of the year, one of the goals that has been set for me is that to improve myself upon the presentation skills that we have mutually agreed that I should be. If I refer to my previous experience, I have little bit of experience of this, but not doing it this kind of a session, maybe giving a presentation to customers who comes for pitching and something like that. So that is something which my forte, my arena. So I used to do it flawlessly because that is something which I know and I used to rattle and they don't know anything about it. But this time, this is not something which my forte. I was trying to avoid quite a while. And then Sudhir has a strategy for everything to get it done. He said that if you don't want somebody, if you want to ensure that somebody is not doing it, and you want to get it done, then don't give them an option. So he said that next month's session you are doing it. So that's the reason why I'm standing here. So now let's look into the topic what I have chosen. So it is 3 steps to success. Why 3 steps? Why not 5? Why not 7? So everybody has their own model. There is no fixed formula for honestly speaking for success. This is just the 3 steps. What I have picked up is because whatever the topic I have picked up, when I have shown it to Sudhir, he said that not really interesting. At least not for the people who are going to take the session. So I have to make it interesting. So I said that honestly everybody wants to succeed in their life, right? So I thought that whatever the topic I have chosen will convert into a kind of a 3 steps to success. So I would try to claim or give a caution that this is not the only model to success. There could be n number of models. There is only one model. It could apply to you. Probably we thought that it's going to be helpful to you. So let's start. So the first step, understanding yourself. It might be looking very simple and then not really something which is to be explored. But what I mean to say is that honestly speaking, how many of you know really what exactly yourself? Do you think that you really understand yourself really good? Maybe I'll step back and then share my experience of why I'm referring to this, really important. People normally come bunches in the interviews. We normally ask what is your goal in your, in your life or in your career. Some of the responses what we get is that, very interesting. They said that I want to be a perfect in my master data analysis, whatever I do. Or something similar to that. So, when we hear that, really, is it something really somebody want to be in your life? Is it that this is what you are maximum, you are looking at your potential? So that means the people are not really knowing what exactly their potential, what exactly they want to achieve in their life. So that means they are not really understanding themselves very well. Maybe it could be their potential or it could be their aspirations. So that is making me to think that it is really important to understand this. So how do we do that? Is it easy or is it difficult? So everybody has the same kind of a problem. So there are 2 gentlemen who are philosophers or psychiatrists. So they have done a lot of research and they have come up with a beautiful model called Johari window. So people who already know about this probably have to bear with me. But for people who don't know about it, it might be a little interesting. So there are 2, these on their first names, it is Joe and Joe Luft and Harry. It is on their first names it has been made as Johari window. So how exactly to utilize this particular model? So we have a square divided into 4 quadrants. And this is actually, if you look at, divided into 4 aspects of it. One is that known to self, unknown to self. Normally, this is the 2 categories what one knows. And the other is that known to others and unknown to others. So let's quickly look at the first quadrant, which is top left, which is open self. So this particular quadrant talks about information about you that both you and the others know. So this is pretty simple and straightforward, nothing complicated in this particular quadrant. If I want to refer to some example, like maybe Stanley is the most eligible bachelor on the floor. Everybody knows about it. Stanley has known about it. Something similar to that. And then we have a lot of beautiful girls on the floor. They also know about it, and then people also know about it. Right? So there is nothing much complicated about the open self. We'll talk about more about the blind self, which is in the next quadrant. So this quadrant talks about information about you that you don't know, but others do know. When do we get to know these things? Normally we think that we know everything about us, but then we get into a situation and then we get to know that, okay, this is what I do, but really I wasn't aware of, but only people know about it. Typically this is in personal lives, we get to know most of these blind spots when we are in an argument with our partners, because that's the time where you are all blind spots comes out. Otherwise, in the professional life, it is very interesting. Like, say suppose I myself, I wasn't aware of that. Whenever I stand on this podium and talk to people, I automatically tend to speak fast, and I get to know only when Sudhir told me that. So, and it could be as simple as that people using repetitively a pattern, but they repeatedly say that or some other word, a catchy word, they frequently repeat those kind of words. Again, referring to my personal thing, like in my earlier career, when I moved from Hyderabad to Delhi, I had a tendency of, when somebody is speaking, I used to say, that means that I am unable to, catch what exactly you are saying, and that's a typical tendency what we have. I used to repeatedly do with my leader, and one day he stopped me, said that, what, this is very irritating what you're doing. I never realized I was doing it, my intention was not really, to show any, disregard to him, but then that was a natural tendency, and I realized only when he said it so seriously. And similar, there will be a lot of things which we don't know, and then when only people tell you, then only you realize that. Okay. Now moving on to the hidden self, this is really actually a very dangerous one. Information about you that you know, but others don't know. So do you think that we really get into this? Yes, we do. The situation is that this is actually into two parts. One is that conscious and unconscious, the hidden self. Conscious ones are normally like, how many girlfriends you used to have in college life, you never share with your wife. That's a conscious one. Whoever says that, he will repent for the rest of life. The conscious ones, as Sudhir was explaining, in your day-to-day process in your life, people come to you with a question that he's struggling with something. He comes to you with a question that, I'm struggling with this problem. Do you know that? I don't think so. I really have a solution for it. Why do people do that? It could be like, maybe they are like little having a, identity crisis. They think that, okay, if I tell this guy might take the credit away. Okay? So it could be like conscious or unconscious depending upon whatever the situation it is. But irrespective of it is, if you're doing it, it's not really going to be good, as Sudhir has explained. Okay, so let's quickly move on to the unknown self. This is actually very, potential one. Basically, what we say, the information about you that neither you know nor others know. Then when do we get to know them? I was struggling to find a little bit of a, opt example for this one. How do I explain this one? Nobody knows what exactly this unknown self. Maybe I have to take a situation, what I have observed this one, and then I realize that that's the best example. When we have started this year, that new initiatives, whatever Sudhir has identified or announced here, we picked up people randomly by the leaders, whatever that they have said that, okay, this guy is good to be in this particular initiative or something. So we couldn't go to people to select what is their interest. But when we started working on some of the initiatives, when I was going through that, whatever the models they're coming up with, the ideas what they were coming up in these initiatives, the way they were performing, I was really zapped. And some of them, they came back and told us, we never worked on this kind of a model initiative earlier, either as a lead or as a participant. And similarly, some of the initiatives, when we have arranged some programs here, where it is being a presentations or whatever the sessions we have had, some people were forced to act in those sessions. And then I'm sure that end of the session, maybe they never did it, but then they enjoyed it, and they said that we never knew that we are really good, right? So that is actually the unknown self. Because you never tried, that's why you never knew that whether you are good or bad. You realize it only when you explore it. So honestly, whoever has taken that very seriously, that initiative, irrespective they like it or not, if they have tried it very sincerely, they have really succeeded, and they realize that there is unknown potential for them. So overall, that's the way how the model explains, and now how to really get to understand this one, or how to implement this particular model, how to utilize it. The best way to do is that probably you can do kind of maybe. So you need to improve or enlarge this particular open self by reducing the blind self as well as the hidden self automatically, which is going to dominate a little bit of unknown area also. So for the increasing the part into the blind area is that ask either your leaders or it could be your partners, whoever it is, ask for the feedback and with a positive intent. Don't go with a negative intent. Mostly feedback is considered as negative. Not necessarily. It could be possible that if you ask, people might say that you never realized, but then the way you are helping others in the teams, it is really phenomenal. You are a team player. You did it as your natural thing. You never particularly purposefully went and helped everybody. But then you unconsciously did it, but then the only team leader get to know that you are really a team player. So that's a positive feedback. And there could be multiple instances where you might not realize, but then your leader or somebody has observed it and then they will tell. So ask the feedback, they are going to tell you what are the things you are really good at. Or the other way around, which is not asking, somebody has explained me how to really get to know what exactly the positive things that you really possess. Imagine that you are dead. You are sleeping on, and everybody comes. You know that who are all the good people, you know, very close quarters. They come to see you automatically. And that's the time actually, irrespective of the person likes you or not, that's the only time where everybody speaks only positive about you. Think what are the positive things that each individual, whoever comes there to see you, what they will say about you. And those are the things you can really work upon, because that's the things people really like about you. If you do these things really more frequently, that's the thing you can, you know, achieve that whatever you want to achieve. Okay, and then the other side, which is how to reduce the hidden self. But this is a little dangerous, as I said, that you can't really share everything to everybody. So you have to choose to whom you have to share, or who's the right person to share about it. But then if you talk, so that is ask, this is talk. If you talk about it, if you share yourself, it could be something like, you know, somebody has a really good potential, or maybe he's very good with preparing the presentations. You should share that with your leader. Then only the leader get to know you have certain talent which is going to be utilized for you as well as for the benefit of the team, right? Or somebody might be very good with the visual presentation or maybe the visual basics. So unless you tell that you have the talent of preparing the macros, nobody get to know. So you have to talk and share with, I mean, not necessarily everybody has to come and ask you about it. You have to go and tell that. Not necessarily that you go and every morning and telling everybody I know something. But when you see people around and who are struggling, go and offer your help. Nothing wrong in doing it. And they're going to be really, you know, the positivity permeates. Maybe you may not get the result immediately back from that particular person, but then automatically that word spreads and then you will be considered as SME for that particular topic. So that's the way the positive aura is created for yourself. Okay? It's kind of a branding of yourself. So I guess now it really makes sense why understanding yourself is really important and why it is really a first step for your success. Because that starts, everything starts from I. Okay?